Hello YouTube. This is part 2 to the being diagnosed with MS, when and how I found out. Didn't know the video was going to cut off after 5 minutes. Well, I found out that it was MS, and in the beginning the neurologist that I had then put me on a prescription that was an injectable prescription. It was an injectable medication that I had to take every other day. Knowing now that medicine didn't really help at all, because I had so many flare-ups within the first 5 years of having that medicine that it really didn't help at all. I'm on another medication now, but I'll talk about that in a second. So at that time, like I said, when I found out Xavier was under a year old, taking this medication faithfully like I was supposed to, every other day, still having some flare-ups with problems walking, sometimes problem with vision. I would go to him. It's nothing that he can do. Like I said, there's no cure, but he was older. Not that has anything to do with older doctors. He just wasn't in the loop, I guess, with newer prescriptions, or he was just sticking with what he knew. I don't know. When Xavier was 4, almost 5, Ziggy was born. I got pregnant with Ziggy. I'll tell you how their birthdays are. Xavier's birthday is in January. Ziggy was born November 26th of the year when he was 4 years old. So right before he turned 5. So he would have been 5 in a month, in a couple weeks. So I just call them 5 years apart. So we had Xavier, spoiled riding, firstborn, had him for 5 years without another child around. He was a great baby, great child. Then I got pregnant with Ziggy. Well, people with MS, they will know, and they'll be able to tell you that when you are pregnant with MS, something weird happens. Your MS actually goes into sleep. It's like sleep. They call it the honeymoon period. It's like really, really great. You have absolutely no symptoms. You feel great, no problems walking, unless you, like I said in the previous video, unless you had problems before you started on any MS medication. So it's not a cure if you've had any MS problems beforehand. Example, if you are a person with MS, and let's say you were in a wheelchair, if you got pregnant while you were in a wheelchair, it was not going to correct that. And then you're going to be able to walk for 9 months, and then it's going to happen again. But if all you had was just maybe like a problem with your hand, or just something I can't describe it. Like my thing would always be weakness in my right leg and sometimes vision in my right eye. Well, the whole time I was pregnant with Ziggy, none of that. I mean, that was the best pregnancy ever. No pain. Only thing is, when it got toward that 9th month, a little bit of back pain and lower discs and everything. But perfect pregnancy. Enjoyed it. Had absolutely no pain, no labor pain at all, because he was a scheduled C-section. So we went out Black Friday shopping, and the next day, on that Saturday after he was born, the year that he was born was on that Saturday. And I mean, my water broke. We called the doctor. She said, come on in. I had no labor pains. We drove into the hospital, had him, no problem. Anywho, so Ziggy came after I had him. 4 to 6 weeks later, I had a flare-up, and I remember my doctor told me I had him in the hospital, and the nurse that brought him into the room one of the days put him on me to nurse. Well, he wanted to nurse. When I had Xavier, he did not want to nurse. Wouldn't latch on for nothing in the world. This is before I had MS now. He would not latch on for nothing in the world. He wanted his bottle and his pacifier. When I had Ziggy, he wanted to nurse. I mean, he latched on and was just going at it. And my doctor came in to visit me, I'll say a couple hours later, and she said, you know, you're not going to be able to do that. I was like, what? She said, today you have to get started back on your MS medication because a flare-up is imminent. I'm like, oh my God, can you people get any more negative? But like I said, I'm a realist, and I really want to know what's going on so I can be ahead of the bullet, ahead of everything that's happening. So I had to neglect my baby and stop him from wanting to nurse, and put him on formula on a bottle, and start back on my medication while I was in the hospital. So I had to bring my medicine there so I could start on the injections while I was in the hospital. And I did have a flare up. I will say I was out of work for 8 weeks because of the C-section. I had a flare up at about 6 weeks, could have been 7 weeks. Had a flare up. Got up one morning, was living, had an upstairs downstairs. We were in the upstairs downstairs, and I was upstairs and could not get downstairs for nothing in the world. So Tyrone had to buy like a mini fridge and bring bottles upstairs for Ziggy to have, and things for me to eat while he was at work until I can get myself together. And it took probably about a week until it was time for me to get ready to go back to work. And I was just fine when I went into work. People were like, oh my gosh, you look great, lost the baby weight and everything. So that's what happened. But the reason I like to do, well, I wanted to start doing videos, I shouldn't